Hi all, welcome to my channel SST Corner for Grade 10. Today we are going to discuss a very important chapter from history, that is Nationalism in India, Part 1. So we'll be discussing the First World War, Khilafat and Non-Cooperation, the idea of Satyagraha, the Rowlatt Act, and why non-cooperation. No, the story starts from the First World War. The First World War was happening. It created a new economic and political problems. Now Britishers are participating in the First World War. To meet their defense expenditure like buying weapons, they increased the taxes of the people of our country, India. Like they increased the custom duties. Custom duties were the taxes paid on imports and exports, and many taxes were increased, and newly they introduced income tax. See, everything for buying money from Indian people. Now, so the war years, prices increased, doubling between 1913 and 1918, leading to extreme hardship for the common people. So in the war period, the prices of the food were increased. Now villages were called upon to supply soldiers, and the forced recruitment in rural areas caused widespread anger. So what is forced recruitment? If you are saying yes or no, you should compulsorily join the army. Okay, so these Britishers forcibly recruited these village people for army and created a widespread anger. Now, then in 1918 to 19 and 1920 to 21, there was a crop failure in many parts of our country, resulting in shortage of food. Now, this was accompanied by influenza disease. So these two are main problems in our country now, India. Now, these two are the main problems now in our country, India. So there is shortage of food and there is influenza disease. Due to this, 12 to 13 million people have been died. What? Due to this shortage of food and the influenza disease. Now, people hoped that their hardships would end after the war was over, but that did not happen. So all people thought, okay, after First World War, our problems will be solved. But that did not happen. Now these problems are going on. A new magician came inside, that is Mahatma Gandhi. He suggested a new mode of struggle, that is Satyagraha. So Mahatma Gandhi came from South Africa to India in January 1915, where in South Africa he successfully fought for the racist regime with the novel method of Satyagraha. What is Satyagraha? Hold on to truth. It suggested that if your cause was true, it was against injustice, then physical force is not required to fight the oppressor. No, he always supported non-violence and he always rejected violence. Now, after he came to India, he traveled all over the India and saw the people's problem and organized satyagrahas for them. So he made a cake. What? C stands for Champaran Satyagraha in 1917, A stands for Ahmedabad Satyagraha in 1918, and K stands for Keda Satyagraha in 1917. And E stands for nothing. For mnemonic, I kept that name. Now, why he done Satyagrahas for these places? Because in Champaran, he done a satyagraha because for the indigo planters. No, not indigo planters, farmers. Because these Britishers were forcing the farmers to grow indigo plants in their farm, but this they were rejecting. The farmers were not willing to sow because it will. So if we grow the indigo, the soil's fertility will be lost. So everyone was not willing to grow this plant, but the Britishers were forcing to grow indigo. Now they complained to Mahatma Gandhi and he done a satyagraha for them. Now in Keda, the Britishers were putting high revenues from they were taking high revenues from peasants to support the Mahatma Gandhi's organized a satyagraha for them. And in Ahmedabad, he organized a satyagraha for cotton mill workers. Now the Rowlatt Act. Now everyone, the British people got very alert, and what the Britishers what they done means they hurriedly passed an act known as Rowlatt Act against this against this United Indian members. So all Indians were fighting against Britishers, and due to Mahatma Gandhi, Britishers got very scared and got alert. So they hurriedly passed an act called as Rowlatt Act in 1919. So what it said means that act, if you're protesting anywhere, they will take you and put in jail without trial. Okay, for 2 years they'll put you in jail without trial. Now, against this unjust law, Mahatma Gandhi ran a hartal on 6th April. So rallies were organized in various cities, workers went on strike in railway shops and shops were closed down, and British got now very, very alert. Now what they done means Britishers, this now the Britishers were not allowing Mahatma Gandhi to enter Delhi. So Mahatma Gandhi was not allowed to enter Delhi. Now, what happened means a British official General Dyer. Now, General Dyer came to Jallianwala Bagh. So now, what happened means there's a place known as Jallianwala Bagh. It is a big ground. So a huge crowd came into the Jallianwala Bagh to celebrate Baisakhi festival on 13th April 1919. Now, this General Dyer came inside the Jallianwala Bagh, closed all the entries and exit points, and started killing everyone. Now, the Jallianwala Bagh grounds were the walls were very very big, so no one can escape. So everyone were brutally killed. Now, as the news spread, the people started firing the government buildings. Now, Mahatma Gandhi called off Rowlatt Satyagraha as the movement turned violent. He always supported only for non-violence, rejecting violence. But the movement turned into a violent movement, so he called off that movement. Now, now Gandhiji tried to do a bigger movement. He called off Rowlatt Satyagraha and tried to do a bigger non-violence movement. Now, to do that movement, he wanted to unite Hindus and Muslims. Yes, that time Hindus and Muslims were in a big clash. Hindus and Muslims had many problems. Now, what is the Muslims' problem means? These Khalifa were cornered by the European people. Who is Khalifa? The spiritual head of Muslims is known as Khalifa, the head of Muslims. They were cornered by the European people after the First World War. So, uh, the two Ali brothers saw this and got very very angry. That the Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali formed a movement to support their spiritual head, that is known as Khilafat movement. So what is Khilafat movement means? Movement started by Muslims in support of their head. It was formed in Bombay 1919. So Muslims are supporting for the spiritual head because Europeans were not nice to their spiritual heads after First World War One. Okay. Now, what did Gandhiji do? He united Hindus and Muslims, and he planned to do a non-cooperation movement, a bigger movement. Where he united means in Calcutta meeting September 1920, he convinced both Hindus and Muslims to work together for both independence. Swaraj means independence, for independence issue and also for the Khilafat issue. Now, why non-cooperation? In his famous book Hindu Swaraj, he wrote a book known as Hindu Swaraj in 1909. In that, he said that British rule is established in India because of the cooperation of Indians, and I survive only because of this cooperation. Now, what he said means, if Britishers are slapping us, we are taking it. So everything British are doing, we are cooperating with them. If you are non-cooperating with them, they will be we can easily kick off them from our country, India. So Mahatma Gandhi said to not cooperate. So the movement should start with the surrender of titles that government awarded, and to boycott civil services, army, police, courts, and legislative councils, schools, and foreign goods. How it all happened? So Gandhiji gathered masses with Shaukat Ali. So he convinced everyone, but Congress was not still convinced because it told to boycott. Boycott means not to use it and not to participate. So it was same meaning. So he said to boycott the civil services. So he also told to boycott council elections, but Congress want to participate in council elections. So they cannot boycott it. So at last Mahatma Gandhi convinced the Congress from September to December 1920, and finally in Nagpur meeting the non-cooperation movement was adopted, but it did not get started. It did not start, only it was adopted. Now, that's it. Thank you all. I will be meeting in the next part of the chapter. So like, share and subscribe. Till I meet you in the next part, this is Tarun signing off. Bye bye all.